Hey folks, Gwe. A few weeks ago, the Roman Catholic Church came out with a document called Infinite Dignity. It's a 20-page declaration that declared gender-affirming surgery and surrogacy as grave violations of human dignity that reject God's plans for human life. It says, God created man and woman as biologically different, separate beings, and said that people must not tinker with that or try to make oneself God. It follows that any sex change intervention, as a rule, risks threatening the unique dignity the person has received from the moment of conception. Now, first of all, again, I'm not Roman Catholic. I'm Anglican, Episcopalian, Church of England. We are different, and in many ways we have some very similar understandings. I'm not here to tell you that the Roman Catholic Church is wrong in this. I'm just, as I read about it, and I'll include an article. With the video in the comments. But as I read about it, it got me thinking, and it got me thinking about a lot of things that are going on in our world, and how we see a lot of things in our world, and how we see each other in our world, especially those who are different, those who walk a unique path, or a path, maybe a path less journeyed. Why are we so fixated on the person's physical appearance? That's the question I got thinking about when I was reading this. Why are we so fixated on a person's physical appearance? In the Bible, there's actually a few really, really powerful stories where our understanding that the physical appearance is important is they're sort of shattered. You think about Isaiah when he talks about the coming Messiah, and he says, this guy's nothing special to look at. There's nothing about him. Looking at this guy, there's nothing about him that would make people want to follow him. You think about Leah. Think about poor Leah, who was the wife of Jacob. He didn't want to marry her. She was not the sister he wanted. He wanted Rachel. And when he woke up the next morning, he was laying beside Leah, and he was upset and offended that he was tricked into marrying this woman. Apparently she wasn't the beauty that her sister was. And yet she brings about, through their relationship, through their marriage, she brings about half the tribe of Israel. Right. And then, one of the most famous is Samuel. When God has had enough with Saul, the king, he tells Samuel, okay, go see Jesse and find a king in one of his sons. And so Saul goes to visit Jesse. He says, Jesse, I need to see your sons. Jesse brings all his sons out. They're standing there, great big teeth, spitting, scar having, warrior king kind of guys. And he goes to the first one, and God says, nope. And he goes to the second one, nope. Goes to the third one, nope. And Samuel's like, God, really? Aren't these guys enough? And God says, Samuel, you're looking at qualities that I don't care anything about. I'm looking for something deeper. I'm looking for something more like me. And so ultimately, Jesse brings David, his little, effeminate, the last of the sons who was out with the sheep. Samuel looks at him, and God goes, that's the one. Nothing to do with his physical appearance. Had everything to do with who he was on the inside. Had nothing to do with Jesus' physical appearance. It had everything to do with who Jesus was on the inside, who the Messiah would be on the inside. Look throughout the New Testament as Paul and Jesus talk about the characteristics that matter to God. Nothing to do with size, nothing to do with physical attributes. All of it are the fruits of the Spirit. They're all internal characteristics. And yet we are focused. We are focused on the physical. That a person looks the way they're supposed to look. That a person, and we get to choose how they're supposed to look. That a person loves the way their physical appearance traditionally would tell us they're supposed to love. We're just absolutely trapped with what we can see on the outside of a person, and we give no credence, or it seems like we give no credence, despite the fact that we're told that this is everything. It seems like we give no credence at all to who a person is on the inside. I mean, shoot, growing up, weren't you told, beauty's only skin deep? What's inside that really matters? That was like drilled into my head by every after-school special. And it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense that we stop judging people based on who they are on the outside. I mean, in many ways, who we project to the world around us with our appearances could be a wonderful mask. But you can't hide who you are on the inside. If you're rotten on the inside, it comes out in your behavior. If you're beautiful on the inside, it comes out in your behavior. It's a rare human being that can hide who they truly are. Again, I'm not going to tell the Pope what to think. I'm not going to tell the Vatican how they must listen to an Anglican minister in Halifax, Nova Scotia. But I wish we, as a church, universal, I wish we could move away from outward appearances, that we could give more credence to what's going on the inside. Now, I know that Paul also tells us, I think it's in first letter to the Corinthians, and probably in a couple of other places as well, actually, but he tells us the importance of the physical body, that the body is a temple, and we must respect the body. We must take care of the body, and we must see it as something that is precious and something that is God-given. And it's a gift, right? It's a gift for us to use to live a long, happy, healthy life. But Paul, in those passages, he's talking about abusing our bodies. He's talking about using our bodies for momentary satisfaction and pleasure. Don't give in to that. Don't give in to that desire. Treat your body with respect. He is not talking about a medical condition. He's not talking about a psychological condition. He's not talking about the conflict that exists between how a person appears on the outside and how they feel on the inside. He's not talking about that emotional, that spiritual conflict that is raging within a person. He's talking about using your body for selfish reasons. Again, I agree with him. We shouldn't be using our bodies for selfish reasons. But I would also challenge the church to let go of the importance we have placed and continue to place on how a person physically presents. What's going on the inside is so much more important. What's going on the inside is so life-giving. It's so intensely valuable. It's so important to the world and to the church, to the community. Let's you and I see people for who they really are, for those spiritual gifts that they have, for that emotional power that they have. Set aside Let's you and I set aside the physical so that we can allow the person that God created them to be on the inside to come shining forth and to be a benefit to our lives and to the lives of our communities. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that those outward appearances would mean less and less and less to us, so that we could appreciate, accept, receive the person that is on the inside. Amen. Nemultus.